proceed?
Well, I want my motions to be considered. I haven't gotten due process of the law. It's both in the Arizona Constitution.
Well, sir, actually, I did consider your motion, and I denied them.
Oh, you did?
Because there's no basis in law.
Buckle up, guys. Today we are going to dive into a courtroom scene that's as chaotic as it is educational. Right from the start, we see the defendant trying to set the tone, claiming due process and asserting his legal expertise. The tension is palpable, and the judge is poised, already prepared to maintain control. This opening gives us a front row seat to the clash between self-representation over confidence and judicial procedure. You can feel the stakes rising even before the first argument hits.
The body cam footage from the police officers, and I did apply for the body cam footage from both police officers.
Okay. Well, I explained to you in the other motion or other response that you're not entitled to discovery. There is no discovery in civil traffic.
Here we watch the defendant push hard on motions and body cam footage requests, confidently asserting his knowledge of constitutional law. But the courtroom reality hits fast. The judge calmly denies the motions, illustrating the gap between theoretical knowledge and procedural authority. It's a textbook reminder that knowing the law isn't always enough. Understanding the rules of the court is just as critical. Watch closely as the confidence begins to meet friction.
You know, I just want to put on a matter of record here that I did apply to see if these officers were on a Brady list, if their testimony could be tainted because they're listed on the Brady list, and I didn't receive an answer back on that yet. So, you know, when that Brady list information comes back, if these officers are on the Brady list, and I don't know that information, we don't know if the officer is being truthful.
Sir,
Yeah,
the question is, what Brady list are you referring to?
Well, the list to find out if an officer has previously perjured himself or lied on the stand. It's the Brady court. It's the Brady court case from 1963 that would establish a list of police officers who have previously lied on the stand or lied in their testimony.
The Brady list conversation starts, and we immediately notice a clash of awareness. While the defendant attempts to use it to challenge officer credibility, a quick reality check reveals he hasn't done the homework he claims to. This segment highlights the danger of assuming expertise without verification and shows how overconfidence can make one look unprepared under scrutiny. The subtle lesson: preparation beats bravado in any courtroom.
No, I just want to inform the court that all of my phone calls are recorded, so I want to make sure that's a matter of record. And I keep very meticulous records of everything. And you know.
Well, let me point out to you that you're not allowed to record a civil traffic hearing.
It's not a public hearing?
You are not allowed to record it. The only person allowed to, the court records the civil traffic hearing. And by law, you are not allowed.
Next, the judge addresses recording restrictions, a crucial point that our defendant either ignores or misunderstands. This interaction showcases the tension between digital culture, streaming and recording everything, and formal courtroom rules. It's an important moment for viewers to understand that legal spaces operate on strict boundaries that can't be bypassed by personal interpretation, no matter how confident you feel.
Image with overlay of how the intersection looked. So the vehicle in question, the Odyssey, was stopped through the crosswalk.
I would object. I would object, Your Honor. I would object. That picture.
What's your objection?
That is not an accurate picture. That is not a current picture. That is not a relevant picture.
Okay, I'm going to overrule your objection. It's going to come in.
Can I retort, ma'am?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
A slight argument ensued, and eventually
Object.
the driver supplied a photocopy.
And what's your objection?
Well, Your Honor, he's classifying an argument when I was simply handing him my identification. I was getting it out of my glove box. He's testifying that there was an argument when there...
I don't agree with it, but that is...
As the defendant introduces an exhibit, the objection and overruling process gives us a peek into courtroom procedure in action. Arguments about relevancy and accuracy get immediately checked by the judge, demonstrating that courts filter information meticulously. Observers can see the frustration of someone who misunderstands the evidentiary limits and the firm hand needed to keep proceedings focused.
The road was closed, is that correct? The road was closed going from east to west?
West of Rural Road was closed, but the section in question was open to traffic.
The intersection was open, but the east and westbound lanes were closed. You couldn't go east or west. So, or maybe just west where the road was closed, where I took a right.
Okay, I'm going to stop you. You don't get to testify right now. All you get to do is ask him questions.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions you want to ask him?
Of course.
Now, the defendant shifts into a questioning phase about road closures and signage, completely missing that his ticket wasn't related to those issues. This part perfectly captures the pitfalls of overcomplicating legal arguments with irrelevant points. The judge's patience begins to thin, and the courtroom dynamics clearly show the importance of staying laser-focused on actual charges.
Turn from the south as I was, then it's very possible that the driver could not have seen that there was road closures up right there. Is that correct?
That possibly exists, but
Right.
there were signs saying that you shouldn't have taken the right turn to begin with.
Sir, you submitted pictures where there's no signage of a road closed. Is that correct?
Okay, sir, you don't have a charge with regards to the right-hand turn. So I'm going to
sorry.
ask.
When the defendant attempts to tie traffic signage to the violation, the judge firmly redirects, emphasizing relevance. This exchange is a masterclass in courtroom focus. No matter how persuasive your argument feels, straying from the legal question undermines your position. Viewers see why precision and adherence to facts, rather than hypothetical scenarios, are non-negotiable in legal defense.
Especially an out-of-state driver, that the road has been closed.
Sir, I'm going to stop you again.
I'm sure.
We've been going on now for 25 minutes, and this is not relevant to what occurred. You were not cited for violating anything regarding the road closure. So let's move on. You were cited for going into the intersection against the red light. So let's start with after you had realized you made a mistake. What did you do then?
I never testified.
The defendant persists with U-turn and signage debates, further highlighting his misunderstanding of the case's core issues. This section illustrates how failing to align arguments with the actual charges wastes time and erodes credibility. The judge's repeated interventions reinforce the principle that in court, relevance isn't optional, it's mandatory.
Local residents that this road is going to be closed.
Okay, Maricopa County law doesn't necessarily apply to the city of Tempe.
Tempe is in Maricopa County.
And the signs are not relevant. Move on.
So,
Move on.
ma'am, are you telling me that so
I'm telling you that the signs are not relevant.
not warning a
I
driver
said
that the road is closed and the sign.
10 times at least. I'm telling you now, the signs about whether or not you could go down that road are not relevant. You were not charged with anything related to your movement and those signs. So, move on.
Ma'am, I object. That's not true. The reason I took a right is because there was no sign that the road was closed.
I've made my...
Cross-examination chaos ensues. The defendant keeps making statements instead of asking questions, directly provoking the judge's authority. It's a vivid display of why courtroom etiquette matters. Overstepping procedural boundaries invites intervention and can derail your own defense. For viewers, it's an unfiltered example of how not to self-represent under pressure.
Sir,
I don't have any choice but to disagree with you.
respond.
I see.
Ask your next question.
Yeah.
Ask your next question.
Okay, so, officer, when you observed me make a U-turn at a closed road, do you have any understanding as to the reason why someone would attempt to take a right on a road that's closed?
I have no idea why someone would,
Yeah.
especially seeing that there was signage that said you can't turn.
You're saying there was signage, but again, you didn't submit any evidence that there was any kind of signage at all.
Sir,
Well,
you're still on the signs.
it's not relevant that there was no signage?
Not relevant.
Okay.
Move on.
Officer, how...
If you want to still ask him questions, you need to move on to the things that are related to the actual violation.
Here, the defendant tries to justify actions with hypotheticals and rationale for U-turns, yet the judge shuts down every speculation. This segment highlights an essential lesson. The court isn't a forum for theory crafting. It's a fact-based arena. Observers can see the danger of letting ego drive arguments over evidence and procedure.
Cite you for a U-turn. He cited you for the other violations after that. So please focus on what is relevant in this case.
Is it relevant how far back the barricades
No.
were? It's not relevant, so I couldn't have seen
No.
it. Oh, it's not.
No.
This is
Move
crazy.
on.
Okay. This is just nuts. But I'm trying to get justice in America. So as we continue down the road here, so officer, how many?
Sir, if you don't stop making these statements, I'm going to cut off your cross.
Despite repeated warnings, the defendant continues commentary instead of proper questioning, prompting the judge to terminate the cross-examination. This is a stark reminder of accountability. In legal settings, failing to follow instructions has immediate consequences. The court prioritizes process over opinion, and ignoring that principle has a clear cost.
Or questions. Otherwise, I will have to assume that you don't have any more questions for him.
Oh, but that would be an
Next question.
incorrect assumption. So, officer, why would a driver, and in this case it was me, why would a driver make a U-turn and turn around in an intersection, and especially in a very busy area like Tempe that resides in Maricopa
I'm
County?
going to object. I'm going to say that's not relevant. We have moved on from.
As the hearing progresses, the defendant's self-defense narrative escalates, presenting videos and photos that allegedly prove his point. However, the court questions the authenticity and relevance, emphasizing that evidence must be properly submitted and verifiable. For viewers, it's a concrete lesson that methodical preparation and compliance are crucial, not just assembling proof.
From eastbound to northbound.
So you're a police officer. You have all this experience. Why would someone you said I ran a red light, and I'm
Okay,
going to.
now you're asking him to speculate as to why someone would do that. And we're not here to speculate, sir.
The defendant challenges due process repeatedly, claiming unfairness, yet the judge points out procedural missteps. This segment illustrates the tension between perceived rights and actual court rules. Observers see why knowledge of procedure is just as important as legal knowledge itself, and why ignoring judicial guidance weakens your position.
I would just like to ask my questions. So, when I'm being charged with making.
Sir, I'm telling you right now, that's it on the question.
Oh, I'm not allowed to ask any more questions, so you're denying me due process
You make
again.
comments, you make
Okay.
statements.
Again, you're denying me
you
due
make comments
process.
on every comment.
That's okay.
So we're going to cut off Ross. I'm going to assume that you're done. Since
I'm
the
not
next
done.
thing you wanted to talk about was
I'm
the
not done.
supposed argument that took into account.
You're not allowing me to ask my
I
questions.
can only assume that when you don't follow my rules,
Assumptions
that
are
this
not
is
a good
what
thing to
happens.
know.
Streaming and recording issues come to a head as the defendant continues despite clear prohibition. Here, we see the intersection of modern tech culture with legal limitations. The takeaway is simple. Understanding and respecting courtroom boundaries is non-negotiable, and failure to comply can undermine your credibility instantly.
And quit laughing like you think it's amusing. I'm telling you right now, you are not following the rules of the court. You've ignored them and you've laughed at them and you've thought it was very amusing. I'm telling you right now, there are rules that we follow and you are not following them.
And I feel like I'm being denied due process.
I warned you several times that if you continued to just make these statements when you were supposed to be doing questioning and cross-examination, that I would end the cross-examination having to assume that you didn't want to ask any more questions. And instead of asking questions, you continue to make these statements. So I am going to stop the cross-examination at this point.
No due process.
Officer, do you have anything else you want to say that you haven't already said?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. All right, so Mr. Fletcher, you have been sworn in. Go ahead and state your full name, spelling your last name for the record. And what do you want to tell me with regards to what happened?
There's no evidence against me here, none. You have an officer's testimony. There is causation in this case. There was no signage for the roads being closed. I didn't know the road was closed. I wouldn't try to take a right on a road that's closed. It's preposterous, considering I don't have anything on my driving record. Why would I make a mistake?
The final segment wraps up the courtroom drama, showcasing the judge's authority, the defendant's overconfidence, and the procedural boundaries in action. It's an eye-opening display of why self-representation can quickly backfire without discipline and strategic focus. For viewers, it's both entertaining and instructive, a perfect case study in what to avoid.